Hello friends, this time we wish you to get acquainted with ASUS H110M-K D3 motherboard. Intel company has presented a renovated chipset series along with the announcement of new line of Skylake processors. We have already succeeded to report on more affordable versions of H170 and B150 in addition to innovative Intel Z170. And now we're going to tell you about the youngest representative of the new chipset series, Intel H110. Unlike older models, it supports only 6 PCI Express 2.0 lines as well as less USB and SATA 6 gigabit per second ports. Also, it cannot split lines between PCI Express 3.0 slots. Eventually, we have the following feature comparison chart for Intel 100 chipset series. We should also draw your special attention to 1 RAM unit limit per each of the two channels, which restrains maximum RAM capacity. We're going to use ASUS H110M-K D3 motherboard for practical testing of Intel H110 chipset. This is an affordable model of elementary level, which has quite an up-to-date hardware base at an average price of $65 to $70. As we've got the new product for testing without packing, then we shall start from its design description. It is made according to Micro ATX standard and is distinguished by a simple and decent design of black and grey colors. The only glaring element is a yellow chipset cooling radiator. The component layout is performed at a fairly high level. All ports and slots are properly located and thus you will not have any problems with the assembly and further system performance based on the tested model. Also, the vendor has taken care that the installed graphics card does not interfere with connection and disconnection of RAM models, equipping DIMM slots with latches on one side only. The only special point is that the dual-slot cooler graphics card hinders access to the front panel connection socket. However, this is not so important as it is required only during initial installation of the motherboard. Lower part of the model includes a connection socket for front panel audio jacks, SPDIF out, as well as sockets for activation of USB 2.0 and USB 3.0 ports. Totally, the board supports 6 USB 2.0 and 4 USB 3.0 ports. 4 SATA 3.0 ports are designed for the disk subsystem management. There are 2 DIMM slots for RAM installation, which support DDR3 standard. Maximum memory capacity can reach 32 GB and frequency at overclocking 1866 MHz. The cooling system consists of a single aluminum radiator for heat removal from Intel H110 chipset. We have obtained the following temperature records during the testing. The chipset temperature is fine, but we cannot consider the same results relative to the processor power subsystem components, which are affected by the lack of a radiator. However, there is still a margin to critical values. The CPU is powered by a 6-phase scheme. There are 3 PCI slots to expand the motherboard functional operations, including 1 PCI Express 3.0 to 16 slot for the graphics card installation. 1 gigabit LAN controller Realtek RTL8111H is designed for the network connection support. The audio subsystem is based on 8-channel HDA codec Realtek ALC887, which supports the audio system formats up to 7.1 and has a number of branded features. The codec coil implements audio condensers of top quality. A metal strip with a backlight protects the codec from electromagnetic interference. ASUS H110M-K D3 interface panel includes the following ports. In our opinion, the above profile is quite fine. There are 2 video outputs, sufficient quantity of USB ports, including 2 high-speed USB 3.0 ports, as well as PC2 periphery support. With regard to the disadvantages, we have to specify only an inconvenient connection of multi-channel speakers, as you will need to use the audio outputs on the PC front panel. The motherboard has 2 4-pin fan connectors for the installation of inner cooling system. One is for the central processor cooling and the second is designed for the system fan. The tested model uses an up-to-date preloader based on UEFI graphics interface, which allows making the settings with a mouse. The shell is quite standard for ASUS motherboards. There is no support for the processor overclocking, and we have managed to run the tested memory modules at a maximum frequency of 1862 MHz. With relation to the test results of the new motherboard ASUS H110M-K, we can conclude that it might be rather interesting to users with a limited budget, but which are wishing to evaluate the new processors from Intel Skylake series. Its key advantage is a reasonable cost, which currently makes about $65 to $70. It is also worth considering traditional manufacturing quality, enhanced power subsystem, modified audio subsystem, and DDR3 memory support, allowing not wasting money on DDR4 modules. In addition, we should also consider an inconvenient connection of multi-channel speakers. As a result, this motherboard is a good choice for thrifty users which are wishing to assemble a budget system with a single graphics card or even without it. Subscribe to our channel and see you soon. Bye bye.